Hello from Storyhouse. My name's Kaffe. You might remember me from The Secret Seven. I'm going to read a bit from The Secret Seven, which has been requested by Joseph, age 10, and it's a bit where the gang all decide that they're going to build a treehouse. So here we go. The big tree. Everyone was full of ideas. We could bring some boards to put across the branches and make a proper little platform, said Colin. We've got some in our shed at home. And rope to tie them on with, said Jack. Yes, and cushions to sit on, said Pam. Only we'd have to stuff them in a hole in the tree whenever we left in case it rained. Can't do that, the hole's not big enough, said Jack. Well, I could bring an old waterproof sheet, a rubber one, to cover up any of our things when we leave, said Barbara. Then they would be quite all right. Good idea, said Peter, scribbling fast in his notebook. Any more ideas? Stores for the cubbyhole in the tree, said Janet. Unbreakable mugs and things like that. I'll bring those. Mummy always lets us have them when we want them, so long as we take them back sometime. This is fine, said Peter, scribbling quickly. Boards to make a platform, you can bring those. Colin. Rope to tie them with, said Jack. I'll bring that. Cushions for me, said Pam. Rubber sheet for me, said Barbara. Mugs for me, said Janet. What about you, George? I'll bring some food for the cubbyhole, said George. Smashing, said Peter. And I'll bring the drink. Golly, we're going to have a glorious time. It will be a wonderful meeting place. Don't you go and tell that awful sister of yours, Jack. As if I'd tell Susie, said Jack indignantly. When shall we begin to make the treehouse? Well, not tomorrow, said Peter. Nobody's going away to sea just yet. It shouldn't take us long to put everything together up here. This place is just made for a treehouse. A loud and mournful howl rose up from the root of the tree, and there came a scrabbling noise. Oh, poor Scamper, said Janet. He's been as good as anything waiting for us. I guess he wishes he could climb like our cat. He'll be up beside us in half a jiffy. We're coming, Scamper, called Peter. He took one last look around the tree. It really couldn't be better, he said. And there's only one more thing to hope for. What's that? Said Jack, beginning to climb down. Something for the Secret Seven to do, said Peter. We haven't had any adventure or mystery or excitement for ages. I'm glad you said that, said Pam. When you say things never happen, they always do. I hope you're right, said Peter. He parted the leaves of the tree behind him. What a long way we can see, he said. Right over the wood and across to the hill. I can see the road winding up the hill too and cars on it. Come on, called Jack, who was halfway down the tree now. It's getting jolly late. I should get into a row, I know I shall. My mother says our meetings always last an hour too long. Well, this was a jolly good one anyhow, said Colin, slithering down much too fast. Golly, now I've torn my shorts. I should think so, going down the tree as if it was a slippery slip, said Barbara. Scamper gave them a tremendous welcome. He leapt on one after another as the Secret Seven jumped to the ground, barking and licking with all his might. Peter laughed. Poor old Scamper. You won't like our new mating place, will you? I say, look, what about giving Scamper that hole over there as a kind of kennel when we're up in the tree? He pointed to what almost looked like a small cave in a nearby tree. It was old and rotten, and a hole had appeared at the foot of its trunk. It would just about fit Scamper. We could put one of his rugs in there and a bone, so that he would know it was his place, said Peter. And we could say, on guard, Scamper, to him, so that he would stay there till he came down. Oh, yes, he would be our sentinel, said George. He'd make an awfully good one. He'd bark as soon as anyone else came near. They all felt happy now that they'd made a good plan for Scamper. He wouldn't be able to come up to the tree and join their meetings as he did in the shed, but at least he would be doing something for them and feeling important because he was on guard. Woof, said Scamper, exactly as if he understood every word and agreed thoroughly. He wagged his tail and ran in front of them. He knew it was dinner time, even if they didn't. We will see you at Storyhouse very soon. Stay safe. Don't forget you can request your favourite book in the comments below or on any of our social media channels. Okay. Bye!